What's going on, Sports Wars? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today one of my favorite things to do is to laugh at ESPN and to roast ESPN and to point out how ESPN is nothing more than a social justice propaganda network, and they do nothing but eat each other alive and destroy each other. And that's what we're talking about today, because Max Kellerman signed off from First Take for the last time. And the person that is responsible for getting him kicked off the show decided to call in and wish him well. And it's incredibly hilarious to watch this all play out. Stephen A. says goodbye to Max Kellerman after getting him kicked off. All of that pandering you did, Max, all of that nonsense that you were spewing, your BLM and your far left-wing propaganda, none of it mattered. None of it mattered because you still got eaten alive, and it is so funny to watch this all play out. Max Kellerman signed off First Take for the final time on Wednesday. Before the show's end, Stephen A., who is off air for surgery, called in to say goodbye. All I wanted to say was to call in and say thank my man Max for 5 years. Smith says originally when we talked about it, it was supposed to be a 3-year run. The next thing you know, it was a 5-year run, and we've been number one every single year, and you had an awful lot to do with that. Just insulting his intelligence is essentially what that comes down to. It's just insulting his intelligence. And the exchange was incredibly awkward, not because Smith wasn't there, but because Smith is the reason ESPN is removing Kellerman from First Take. As Outkick reported, after other outlets pretended they reported it, Smith tried to get Kellerman removed from the show before the 3-year mark, which Kellerman had originally agreed. But thanks to Smith's boss instrument, Dave Roberts, Smith finally got his way this summer. While Kellerman's future will get the attention right now, Stephen A. Smith's backstage politics are the real story. Smith's disdain for Kellerman as a co-host is the worst-kept secret in sports media circles. Kellerman's removal was the topic in Smith's 2019 contract negotiations. Smith lost that battle at the time, and Kellerman stayed. ESPN did raise Smith's salary to over $10 million a year, though, so it wasn't for nothing. But Kellerman's time on First Take always had an expiration date because of Smith's relationship with ESPN Senior Vice President Dave Roberts, who oversees First Take. While the hostility Smith felt towards Kellerman may not have been personal per se, how much can you really like a guy you are actively trying to kick off the show? Sources say Smith had several issues with Kellerman as a co-host. Smith felt Kellerman did not routinely take a definitive stance in a debate, which Smith co-hosted First Take with Skip Bayless. Smith would take one side and Bayless would take the other. Next, they would defend their positions by cutting animated promos. Smith enjoyed this. It elevated him to the face of ESPN. Second, and Smith will never admit this, Kellerman is more intelligent than he is, a lot smarter. Smith felt uncomfortable discussing social issues with Kellerman on set, which became a fixture after 2016. Kellerman ran circles around Smith, and while baselessly yelling white privilege is Smith's go-to, Kellerman often beat him to that destination. Finally, Stephen A. didn't respect Kellerman as an equal, aside from Skip Bayless and Michael Wilbon. Smith doesn't think anyone else is on his level. Thus, to appease Smith, Roberts will replace Kellerman with a rotation of analysts rather than a single partner. As Outkick reported, which other outlets also pretended to first report weeks later, ESPN is planning for Michael Irvin to appear on First Take's lineup. Sources say Irvin is likely to sit opposite Smith on Mondays. So there you go. I mean, it's just funny because I don't like Max Kellerman at all. I do respect Max Kellerman for, his knowledge on boxing. He is a very intelligent person on a lot of issues. He's also a complete and total idiot on other issues, and his left-wing nonsense really does expose him for the garbage person that he really is. I think he went into First Take trying to be in Skip Bayless's shadow. That's why he did the whole horrific Brady Cliff take, hoping it would pay off, and it did nothing but make him look really bad. In terms of Stephen A. Smith, regardless of how you feel about Stephen A., he is the face of ESPN. He just is. He's the guy. And when you are the guy, you have some pull. And that's just how it is in any business. I have nothing against Stephen A. Smith from that perspective. I think Stephen A. Smith has garbage takes, and his whole white privilege takes are beyond cringe. And if he were talking about another race or another gender or anything like that when he's talking about white men, he would be absolutely canceled across the board. But he can get away with it because of identity politics and in the fact that ESPN is a left-wing echo chamber. But at the end of the day, this is all about ESPN personalities preaching to the high heavens about tolerance and, you know, representation and how they respect other opinions. Meanwhile, they're eating each other alive. And the same ones that are screaming for diversity and all of this nonsense are the same ones that are destroying each other behind the scenes. I think it's hilarious, and I love to see it. I love to watch ESPN destroy itself. I love to watch social justice destroy itself, and I'll continue to laugh at it every step of the way. I feel sorry for no one at ESPN. I feel sorry for no one that's pushing identity politics and social justice nonsense or pushing the BLM narratives. I feel sorry for none of you when you get eaten alive by the same logic that you're trying to push out there onto everyone else. So we'll continue to see how this all plays out. Other than that, you guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.